All right, so today's video, we're watching a Diamond 1 support on PC. Diamond 1, there you go. And they're going to be playing Kiriko on Rialto, and they say hi. So starting off, it might be quite easy to tell I was lacking some confidence this entire game. I noticed during my placements that I was being put with and against previously GM/top 500 players, and that made me question, why am I in this lobby? I feel as though I didn't really accomplish anything and spent a lot of the time dying in this match, and ultimately my team carried this one to victory. Diamond 1 is my highest rank I've ever been in Overwatch 2. I would love if you could help me understand what I can do to die less and put more pressure onto the enemy team and make plays so I can be the reason we win games instead of feeling like I'm being carried along by other players. First of all, congrats on the climb. It's always nice. And it can always be a bit of a surprise when you get into like that next rank tier. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like you go from gold to plat or like even this, like, you know, diamond 1 right as of right now, by the way, is top 500. Like straight up, like every rank, every role as of right now. Like, by Tuesday, that would be top 500 if you have your 25 wins. This is how they have it set up with that, with, like, especially at a rank reset. So, you're technically also in that range. So, this is going to be more about, like, finding ways to help you improve and all that. All right. So, you're on Kiriko. Good hero selection. Understanding damage output. So far, fine. And so far, everything's chill. Like for example, that's on your Doom. Could you be up there with your Doom? Of course. But like, you didn't have Swift Step and your Doom is going like this angle here. I see so many people, I've done this before too, where they overextend to here and get rolled. The problem with this is that like, look at where they can see you from. So like on paper, you think it's great, but then like, this is the problem you deal with. I just think your Doom went a little bit too aggro there, but I mean, I've done that too, so I get it. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like that's more of speaking from experience on that one, you know?
What's up?
There's so many times where I get somebody to 1 HP and overextend at that spot, so. Yep. Oh, wait a second. That cleanse was fine. Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay, I knew this was going to happen. The cleanse was fine, but the TPN was going to be the problem. So the cleanse is fine. At that point, you have to cleanse, right? But so you said you found yourself dying a lot in this game. And, like, that's kind of where you just need to sometimes recognize that your teammate has once again gone... Like, this is, like, one of the classic cases of...
Let's get back to it.
As you climb and get into, like, these top 500 lobbies, right? And I think there's a good way to pause this here. When you get into these, like, top 500 lobbies or, like, these close to top 500 lobbies, the major difference you're going to run into, at least in my opinion, is that, like, players are going to punish you more for trying to save a teammate who's also out of position, right? I always say it's one of those like common things where you don't have to go out of your way to keep your teammate alive. It's all situational, of course, right? So for example, let me give you an example of a good way to keep your teammate alive. So this wouldn't be a good one because you're going to end up putting yourself in a bad spot regardless, and your escape is basically nothing. Like, yeah, you can jump here, wall climb, do all this, but like you tried that and you see what happens. So an example of where it would be good to go in, like with your Doom is like, let's say your Doom dives here and is in a spot where like they're at like 85% ultimate and they're really close to ult and like they can win this team fight. I could see a teleport cleanse play then because you're basically all in and basically committing to the idea that your teammate can win. But if you find yourself just constantly having to like keep up with somebody and they're over here, that's how you're going to get yourself killed. So like if your teammates go out of position, like don't feel obligated to just go out of position also to keep them alive. And as you climb, the tanks will get better at being self-sufficient. So like if your Doom wants to survive right there, like, you know, let them punch out or something maybe, you know, like here's an example of where you could go up with your Doom now with like a TP. The one team fight, you're making sure they stay alive. You could TP over there. You could TP over there. You'd be fine. Like there's where you'd be fine, right? Keep your Tracer alive, etc. But your team has the point. Now, like right there, I would not TP to that Doom. Not right now.
Hey.
You ready for this? Because you said in your thing you felt like you were doing nothing. Everything right there that you did was the correct play. Straight up. Your Doom is overextended. You're staying at an angle to keep him alive. Like, I think that was fine. I think that whole sequence was fine. Hey, buddy. Like, I don't have any issues with that one. Like, what the point I'm making is, like, it feels like you're doing nothing, but sometimes when you're doing nothing in a game and your team's winning, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not doing anything. You're not feeding, and that's good. Like, so it's fine. Yep. I want to let you know that, once again, I think you made the correct decision there. Because if you go for your Doom there and you do the cleanse play, your Doom had already used ult. So, like, it's not like you're going to save your Doom for an ultimate at that point. Your Doom literally is just going back to spawn. So, once again, your Doom just plays very aggro, so you can't do anything about that one, right? Oh, heck yeah. Good job, Scrap. Let's go. Congrats on the climb. I'm loving that. I've been hearing more and more stories about people climbing now after, like, the videos. It's been so cool. I love hearing people just, like, are seeing success with, like, the spectating and then getting better and all that. I love it. It's so cool. I would Kitsune this pretty soon. Let me explain why. They just use their Winston bubble, so now you don't have to worry about the Winston bubble during this as a counter. They're going to Winston ult anyway. I think it's okay if you want to Kitsune that. Yep. I would have maybe gone a little bit further up with it, but I know the Winston was a little bit in the way there. I would keep your Ana alive now and don't worry about anybody else for a second. Wherever the Winston goes at. Yep. This is all correct so far. That was just a good Winston ult.
I think we're outnumbered.
That was just a good Winston. You talking about Sully in his bucket? I know. Yep, he's all happy now. He's in his bucket. He did his routine. Now he gets to sleep for like 10 hours, right, buddy? But yeah, this has been like so far, it's not a lot has necessarily happened in this game. Like, not a lot has like necessarily happened, and like that's okay.
Rocket barrage incoming.
That was certainly a barrage. You didn't have your TP up. Perk selection, right? I think, like, I'm trying to remember what the perks are for Kiriko. What are the minor perks for Kiriko? I know the perks, but when do you get the Swift Step one? Which is where you can, like, double Swift Step again. Yeah, keep your Ana alive. This is the correct play. Yep. It's the major perk? Okay. Oh, the damage one, right? Is the minor one the damage one? Where, like, if you damage, it will throw randomly, like, 2 heals or something? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I guess it is. Yeah, I see. There's just so many perks to remember that I don't remember, like... There's so many perks to remember that I don't remember, like, specifically all of, like, the major and minor perks of all the heroes. So I know the major ones that I like the Swift Step one. The damage one's pretty cool. The damage one, is it called Fortune Teller? It's basically where when you do damage, it will, like, heal. It will throw out 2 heals randomly, which is pretty cool. And then you have, and then you have the increased, oh, yes, that one's good, too. The increased Sofuda speed to crit health. But I feel like the crit one is, okay, I don't know if this is also a playstyle preference. I don't like the perks that are basically like, if your teammates are critical, you're going to heal more. Because I hate that I have to wait on my teammates to be critical to get the value out of that, right? That's where I'm at with it. I mean, it's obviously preference with perks, right? Like, that's the cool part about them is playstyle, but I definitely like the one where if I do damage, it heals people. Hey, listen, if you find that, like, in a gold game, you know, everybody's crit the whole time, it makes sense, right? Playstyle. You know what I mean? That's the thing is, like, I think that's just, it comes down to, like, playstyle preference. This is one of those situations there where, like, I think you're trying to figure out what to do in that spot there. I think outside of your ultimate there, that was just how the team fight goes sometimes. I think your ultimate should have been a little bit further up so that way your teammates can follow up with it even more, right? Like, I think that would have been a little bit more, like, of at least for me, a little bit better play, but yeah. Okay, here we go. You still haven't picked a perk yet. I'd recommend picking a perk. Because I feel like it's pronounced Freya, so it's like the new hero coming out. That makes sense. That's what I thought, but like I was trying to like it wasn't the same spelling, so I got you. Okay, so Kitsune. Let's talk about Kitsune locations. Because I think I want to start doing this more. If I'm in this situation and I'm a player on your team, 2 Kitsunes I would want. One, if they aggress and they push you here, I would do a Kitsune down this way. The reason being is it forces them back. Okay. Ideally, if you can, you actually don't Kitsune this angle and you're going to Kitsune here. And the reason why this Kitsune is good is because this is the one, this choke becomes very tough to get through. Either or is going to be fine, but I want to see you do one of those type of Kitsunes. It's a very simple one, but like it's very good at getting the space creation. Ideally here, but it's okay if it ends up being here. All right. Think about Kitsune as a way to like lead your teammates in, but they also want to benefit from that Kitsune. So based off of how this team fight's going, it might be the one closer. Because then if they like, yep.
My ultimate is ready.
Okay, perks that were picked, by the way.
Rain.
Oh wait, we just got both perks picked for the first time. It looks like you went with the Swift Step one and the damage healing one. So that's the perks for this rank. I think that sounds perfectly fine. Swift Step for the double movement, and then when you damage people, you heal like 2 heals randomly. I think that's perfectly fine perk selection.
Let's
Yep.
get the payload going.
And nothing wrong with those.
I'm here.
There you go. Good job keeping your Ashe alive. Uh-oh, no! You lost your TP time in there, but, I mean, hey, your teammates are surviving. Okay, and I think what's...
The spring
Okay,
Kitsune
so
is
I'll
ready.
give you... You had mentioned that, like, you felt like you were dying a lot and your teammates carried, etc. It's not even, like, what's happening. It's that you haven't quite caught up to the pacing yet. That's all it is. This is just a pacing issue. You can Kitsune this, by the way, if you want to win. I want to get you out of the habit of the home run Suzus. While they can be effective at times, and I still go for them sometimes too on the rare occasion that I'm playing Kiriko. But I do want you to be careful of these long-range Suzus. They are very... the best way to explain it is this. Unless your teammate is clearly in a defensive position, there's a good chance your teammates also are very self-sufficient, as I mentioned earlier, and are going to get out of there. And once again, that's not the case a lot of the time, right? For example, even recently in like a let's say a low diamond game or like a plat game where you had said that you were kind of sitting before, the players are going to be a little bit less self-sufficient and are going to play more like aggressive and all in and expect more heals. So I get why you're used to throwing these home run Suzus. But as you start to climb in these ranks, you're going to find that like you don't need to do the home run Suzus or the Hail Mary Suzus, right? Yeah, I guess Hail Mary Suzus are fine, whatever sport you watch. If you try to like, or the fastball ones, if you try to do that, what's going to end up happening is you're going to do exactly what you did. You're going to like, it's sometimes harder to aim, like you're going to like misjudge where you need to throw it off of, and it's not going to be perfect, right? It's very rare that like even in my games when I'm playing tank and I'm over aggressive that like I have a Kiriko long range of Suzu on me. So I think just get out of the habit of that, but I also think it's because of the pacing. You're not used to like the pacing at this point, right? So it's all you need to really do to keep improving since you've now gotten to this rank is you need to start just keeping up with the pace. You need to understand timings. Like the reason why you died to the Echo, remember when like back here you had died to the Echo and they pushed into you? The reason why you died to this Echo is because you tunnel visioned for too long. You started to stare at like your Ashe for too long, but like during that you have to recognize that their team is also going to push in at a certain point, and that's why you fell over. Eventually you're going to probably get those timings down as you play more and more of these games because you're going to start to realize the timings are a bit more aggressive and there's a lot more window of opportunity for the other team to find in a limb, vice versa. So you're going to get that internal timer almost that's going to get better, and that just comes with practice. The internal timer in these ranks comes with practice. You could Kitsune this. I would. I think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth holding on to this. Like, win the team fight. Yep. Again, is it my camera? It's because Sully and Arnie are playing. I'll fix it. Once again, I want you to think about your teammates being able to get value. I want to point out you've already won the team fight. So like this is really just kind of like for the sake of showing you an example of what you would want to like fix with this.
That's almost a year.
Angle it like here or something. Or like even here if you're afraid the wolf will get, or like the fox will get stuck going up the stairs. Because now your teammates on the cart area benefit from it. If the other team goes this way, right? Think about it. If the other team goes this way and you have to fight them, the Kitsune now benefits everybody. But look where your Kitsune is. Your teammates only get the benefit from the full left side. So if you do it in the middle, right, or you do it at an angle, teammates over here getting kills will benefit from it. Teammates that end up here will also get the benefit from it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's, like I said, a small scenario there, but I want to showcase these plays to you so you can kind of like keep making this climb be more consistent for you. Okay, here we go.
Let's stop it.
I'm actually confident on that one, Faulty. All right, let's see how your defense goes.
Cleanse. Carried on the wind.
I mean, you're doing everything like that. You're
My gift
the only
to
thing
you.
I would do is maybe stay on the high ground longer, like up where your Doom was initially, but
Moving.
your team just overextended. Like, it's Rialto, like you want to play corners a lot of the time. Like, you only want to really play the bridge to go for early boops and then just play around the corner. So, I mean, like, part of you probably is thinking you're not doing anything, but part of it is, like, your teammate's position is just, once again, kind of all over the place there. So, that's really it. Like, I'm watching it. Like, that's what it is. Like, you know. Now, I do know this is gonna happen. People are gonna say, and I'll bring it up now because people are gonna bring up like, hey, well, you know, like the Kiriko needs to do more damage and do things like that. I really think that will become an important part of it, where Kiriko needs to find more off angles. But like, this has been one of those games where they put a lot of constant pressure on the Ana. So like, is it worth leaving your Ana to die the whole time in the backline? Especially now, no, because like the Ana is going to be the one that's going to make or break this Roadhog gameplay, right? So you want to keep your Ana alive. So like, that's why it's always like you can't always just go on and do like your damage flanks the whole time. You need to find the correct time. It's like, you can't do that. So going into more of like the heal bot mode that you're seeing right now has been almost like necessary, because there's so much like wild like team fights happening that you just need to find somebody to keep alive. And that's going to be your Ana. Because your Ana is the one that's going to basically make or break it for the other tank, because they don't have a Kiriko, so they you know what I mean. So far it's been fine. It's not like it's like there's something like super flashy right now, right? Like it's something super flashy right now, you know, in my opinion. Like, but it's like that's okay. Like you're gonna have games where it's not flashy, where like your impact, you don't even necessarily feel like your impact's there, but like sometimes your impact is just not showing up on the kill feed over and over again, as like getting killed by the other team. Like sometimes that's more impactful than like seeing a couple Kiriko kills occasionally on the kill feed. So that cleanse was something. Remember, you don't feel like you have to force a cleanse at a tracer with good HP. So you find yourself liking the other perk? Yes, the other perk is really good too. The one that's like the Suzu. The Suzu, like, speed boost one, I think that one is also good. I don't think you can go wrong with those like, either or. I'll be real with you, like, even when I play Kiriko, well, by the way, we need to slow down a little bit on these long-range Suzus. I think it's becoming too much of a thing. Like, even I don't mind the Suzu one, because, like, the playstyle with Kiriko perk there is this. If you find that, like, you constantly need to go back and forth between two teammates, it makes sense. But if you're constantly all in, basically playing aggressive with, like, your Swift Step Suzu combo, that one also makes sense, right?
Thanks for the touch-up.
I would Kitsune this the moment... not yet. Now. Nope, never mind. I thought the other team was actually going to take map control. They went... Or not map control, I thought they were going to go to the point. They went for map control. Okay. Now. Nope. But you do it. Just the reason why you would launch it here is because they think they have the map for now. So like you want to basically make it so they don't feel like they can push in. Yeah. So I think
60 seconds.
I think like the best way to explain that situation is, let's think of it from the point of view of the other team. If you're in that little small area with the health pack and you hear a Suzu, are you going to be obligated? Like, what are you going to do if you're the other team? If I'm the other team, I'm going to overreact to that. I'm going to be like, I can't push in there. That's a Suzu. Like, I'm literally going to, like, I'm going to back away because, I mean, not a Suzu, a Kitsune. I'm going to back away. I'm not going to push in there. So sometimes, like, even if, like, the Kitsune doesn't feel like it's going to give you the immediate impact, it's actually a lot more impactful than it could be. Now, you could luck out here because they didn't get on the point yet, and your Kitsune is going to be a lot better. So it becomes a hindsight thing. But I would have been okay if you Kitsune that. If you Kitsune that, especially even during like your Doom getting ulted, I think you at least hold it longer and your teammates survive longer. Outside of your Doom Fist. But your Doom Fist will get back in time. So, yeah, anyway. Why is my stream seem so smooth compared to other streams? Because I stream at a bit rate that makes more sense for what I'm streaming at. Let's continue on. Yep. So. Yep. So do you see what I mean? Like, where I think your Kitsune before would have been the play. I think your Kitsune before would have been the play. But I also understand that, and this is something that I think, you know, a lot of people have probably experienced in just playing, you know, Overwatch, and when you climb ranks sometimes, is like, it's a bit of a, every rank has a different change of pace. So, like, right now, you might be just trying to be like, holy crap, I'm in a top 500 lobby, and, like, you know, you might be afraid to go make a play still. And I get that, right? Nice shot. Good play there. Also, I would love to see you, unless there's a glitch here, I would love to see you pick your level 2 perk a lot sooner. Either the UI isn't quite updated, or you just keep forgetting about your perk. It's one of the two. You like the TP perks, you haven't tried the Suzu one yet, you're gonna try later on. It's good for, like, think about being really fast and being able to escape. Like, that's the trade-off, is, like, you get, like, a less swift step, but, like, you also are just faster, so you could survive more. It's very playstyle. Honestly, I think it's a playstyle selection. There probably will be one that's, like, you know, a little bit better than the other, but I think it's just playstyle selection. If you're not gonna utilize the swift step twice, that was just an unlucky hook. I got nothing for that one. That was just unlucky.
Get in there, Bob.
Good job. Okay, you did eventually pick the perk, so I don't think it was a UI issue. I think you're forgetting about perks. That, I think, is gonna happen to everybody. I get lucky because I have chat. The moment I get a perk, I out of nowhere, I'll look over at chat, I just see perks, 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 perks. So I get a little bit lucky that chat is constantly, the moment I'm like, the moment it hits, that people are just spamming perks, perks, perks. I'm like, okay. Good job keeping range. I'm saying I just get lucky in that sense. I don't have to worry about that.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that was just a good shot. I mean, your position could have been a little bit better, but, like, at the same time, not really. Like, that was just a good play. I don't even have, like, like, sometimes you just get rolled by a Sojourn. I got nothing. You know? Position could have been slightly better. Now, let me point out, by the way, I want to point out where this was a good long-range Suzu. This one makes sense to me, right? I want to point that part out, because I want to also point out where it's good to do, like, these Hail Mary Suzus. That one makes sense, because if your Ana dies here, then you're delayed anyway. You can't really push in. So why not try to save your Ana when their whole team, you know, isn't pushing up? This one makes sense, right? That one makes sense. So I want to point out there are moments where those long-range Suzus make sense, but you're making it a habit to do it all the time. Perks. That most of the time it hasn't been good. This is an example of a good one. Your teammates disengaging out. It's generally a 1v1. You keep them alive, you can get back into the team fight quicker. So this is the correct decision. Here we go.
What's up?
I agree that the fortune teller one is good. Yep. Looks like they took double TP and the healing one. Yep. Which is that when you damage, it will heal people. Both are, I think, like I said, I think these perk selections are totally fine. No issues on these. No issues. I would Kitsune this. Because my mindset is this. You want to keep winning the team fights. You Kitsune early. It builds up your teammates' ultimates in case you lose it. And then you can also build your next ultimate. Like, I want you to think about that with this Kitsune,
Emongg
okay?
hype so close to a year, Emongg hype.
Nod, thanks for the 80 months. You're right, that is almost a year. Thank you for the 80 months. I appreciate that. Hi, Bucket Boy.
Stop the payload from moving.
Long-range Suzus. That's also why you need to Kitsune that earlier. You hear me talk about it sometimes. Playmaking is very important, right? Playmaking is very important, and right now you're not necessarily going for those plays. I would have loved an early Kitsune. Now, if you want me to, I'll be honest with you, you're still probably fine with Kitsune, like saving it. Like it's still an okay decision. I am more of a play aggressive type of player. So I do want to let you know there is an option of saving ultimates and playing smart there. So when I bring up that like I would have Kitsune'd this, I do want to let you know there is the option to not Kitsune that. And like it's still an okay play. I'm more of a like be proactive type of player. But it's okay if like you find that you're on a team of players who are good at like being reactive and disengaging. I still think proactive in Overwatch is going to be a little bit better, just because like you constantly, when you're proactive, in my opinion, when you're proactive, it gives you more room for mistakes. When you're reactive, you have to play next to perfect. Does that make sense? So that's why the proactive play style allows for a bit more room for error, while the reactive play style makes it so you have to basically constantly play it perfect. Like, you ever have a game, out of curiosity, have you ever had a game where like you're playing for like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and you're just dominating, but like and you're just playing defensive the whole time, and then out of nowhere, like someone gets killed finally during that, like whatever they're doing works, and then you just start losing the whole time? That's why usually, is because you're like, even though you're winning the game, even though you're winning and like dominating, like the other team, all they need is an limb, and then once that happens, it's just a snowball, and like your defensive strategies just don't work as much anymore. And like that's common. Like I see it happen a lot. So that's why I wanted to just bring up the idea that like it's okay you didn't use Kitsune. I'm just giving you a reason as to why I would have used it. Like, because you can use it now and like you still have a second team fight. So like this also makes sense, right? So.
Payload's on the move. Let's stop it.
All right, here we go.
For just a little longer. The Kitsune is ready to be unleashed. Feels good, huh? Rocket barrage incoming.
I would have, like,
Kitsune, guide you. We're pretty good together.
yeah. Now I see what you're saying, where you felt like sometimes you were basically just a spectator. And like the truth is, sometimes you've been a spectator in these moments. So what you should learn from this game is that you just need to catch up to the pacing. I don't really necessarily think like you have bad mechanics. Like I think you aim just fine. You don't go for a lot of like shots, but I think that once again is hesitation. So this is what I'm going to tell you. If I'm going to clean up something about your gameplay, I got 2 things I want you to clean up. Let's be more aggressive with these Kitsunes. A lot of them have been very defensive or very late. I want you to start thinking proactively. I think it's going to benefit you a lot, because like when you feel like you're doing nothing, it generally means that your teammates are also doing something first, right? And when that's happening and you're playing a hero like Kiriko, which is a very like, I'm going to lead you in type of hero, that means that you're just not being proactive, right? Like that's the problem here, is you're not leading the charge, so you're just basically playing on your back foot. I always talk about it where you don't want to rely on your teammates all the time to basically make or break your games. You need to also be a part of like the reason why you win, right? So you didn't necessarily play bad this game, but it's just your pacing's off, and that's normal because you just got to this rank, right? You just went from not being in top 500 lobbies to playing with a bunch of top 500 players. So you're getting to see that change of pace. So you notice how like your teammates were constantly being aggressive and constantly making plays. This is the pace you're going to have to eventually get to. Overall, I think like as long as you stop going for like these like, long range Suzus and you start to be more proactive, I think you'll climb pretty quickly. Or not even necessarily climb pretty quickly, but I think you'll feel much more involved in these games. And I think that's what it was. So it wasn't a bad game out of you. I just think it was one of those games where you were almost afraid to make a play. And so you played more hesitant, which once again, I understand, because this is one of your first times being in a top 500 lobby. So I from a confidence point of view, because you mentioned that part, like, or I think you mentioned that part, but like, just to give you like confidence on this one, you didn't play bad here. To make that clear here, you didn't play bad. There's just a lot more you can do. Okay? Does that make sense? Like, and I'm sure some people are gonna be like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, I saw like, where's the DPS? Where's the healing? Sometimes you're gonna have a game where you're more of a spectator, and as long as you don't feed, you're being beneficial to your team. Back to what I was saying, clean up the gameplay a bit on that one. Less of these like throwing long-range Suzus, more proactiveness with your Kitsunes, maybe find a little bit more opportunity for damage, and you're gonna see a climb. Keep up with that pacing, and you're gonna be just fine. You got this. You absolutely got this. If you liked the video, Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all of the YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. That's where my Discord is. You can submit a bunch of stuff on there. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam, also stream on YouTube, so stop by if you haven't. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.